Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the final episode of the Gray Podcast. My name is Marcos Salazar, and joining me later will be Alexia Lucio. Without further ado, let's get on with it. Results have been coming in with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being elected for the positions of president and vice president. There have been celebration and backlashes to this decision. Today, we brought in a few of our peers here to talk about it. Joining us today will be Katrina Benander, apologies for that, Demi Lewis, Samael Segura, and joining us later will be Ariana Maciel. Oh, firstly, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Usually, I like to have some certain topics laid out for this, but I think this should just be more of a free conversation. So the floor is open for discussion about any topics regarding the post-election. Oh, hi, Alexia.
Hola.
Yeah, so joining us now is Alexia. You've come just in time. So, oh,
I didn't know I was late.
we're about to get started on talking about the top for post. So, guys, who wants to start?
One thing that I just thought was fun was uh I was I was like curious like how many living ex-presidents there are. So I checked the Wikipedia page for ex-presidents and he's Trump is already on there and I just had like a little like oh, cool moment.
That's actually quite impressive. The people who edit these Wikipedia pages must have just been waiting there for like the
Oh
election.
yeah, if I worked at Wikipedia, I would have just like had my button ready just waiting with the election results to post that.
Oh God. Anyway, okay, Nevada. Let's talk about Nevada, everyone.
No wonder they are 46th in like education because they must not be able to count. Like I stress they were giving me.
I mean, that's a bit harsh, but you know,
Where's in our county last in education?
I mean,
Moving on.
uh,
um,
I'm gonna, yeah.
do you guys get like election anxiety?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I never like had that before, but then, this election came and I'm like checking it every 5 seconds. I couldn't help myself.
Not even joking. I would check it like every 5 minutes, and when
Oh,
nothing had
that's
changed, I would refresh the page, just
Yes.
trying to get something to change.
I had like an entire tab open just with the election, like the live election count, and I would be refreshing it constantly.
I had 3 different reporting sites, and like at different times they would say different things, and I'm like, which one is right?
Mass media, it's all fake news, everyone. Fake news.
Fake news, the
Oh.
worst news.
Then I was stressed because Trump, he was like, I'm gonna take this to the Supreme Court, and they just voted in that lady Amy is it Coney?
Oh God.
Yeah. Let me just, I'm not gonna okay, anyway, we just know she's like a raging Republican, so even though the system shouldn't work that way, it's a little bit corrupt, and they would have definitely sided with him, but all the cases that he's filed in each state have been thrown out so far. So
Yeah, I don't.
A little bit of a point on Amy Coney Barrett. Now, I don't really know all of the specifics, but originally the last Supreme Court person that was put in, there was a lot of backlash by the Republican Party because they were put in 7 months before the election. You know how close to the election Amy Coney Barrett was put in? That was a little less than 7 months, but whatever.
God. Well, it's certainly going to be interesting how this all comes together because, well, can you really trust the word of Trump at this point?
Okay,
No.
No,
pretty much
No.
all of his tweets in the past week or so have all been flagged by Twitter, like with a content warning saying like information in this tweet may be false, like, and they link to like proper election statistics and things. And I just
does
very,
that too.
very
Oh.
funny.
Cool.
at one point, didn't he literally say like all of the votes for Joe Biden are fake, just like because
one
they're
point-
votes for Joe Biden?
I'm
And he was
pretty
like,
sure-
if you stop counting the Joe Biden votes, I'll win.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's just like, yeah,
no
you
duh.
will, but that's not how election works.
I'm pretty sure at one point, even like out like I am the president of the United States or something, and just scared a ton of people.
You know what it's like watching the election, like as an American? So, if you have younger siblings, you know that when you play a game with them, and so they change the rules so they can win, but then when you do the same thing, they tell you you're cheating. That's what it's like. That's exactly what it's like.
On the daily, he pretty much just encompasses the energy of a 5-year-old. I don't know why any of us are surprised.
Yeah.
Bugs.
So, I am friends with the raging Republican. And I just had to rub salt in the wound, and I was like, hey, like Joe Biden, like he was just announced the winner. And he was like, yeah, like tough talk. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, you're just mad Trump's a liar. And he's like, Trump has never lied to us. And they were just so like brainwashed. I can't.
Yeah. I did not know how many people in my life were Trump supporters until this last election, and it was frightening.
Trina, you have to call
Like,
them
you
Trump
really know. And then they're just like, well, but the economy. And it's just like, no.
monopoly.
I think it's interesting that like we're kind of used to people with absurd ideas, like kind of like hiding it and being very down low, like very low key about just believing these just very crazy things. And once Trump was elected president, all these people just started showing up out of nowhere, just being very vocal about these opinions, and it's just very strange to see because like someone who would think that everything he's saying is correct is just very loud and proud about it, which is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the like really really bad things Trump did. He's done a lot, but like it was like he kind of made this mob mentality thing where all these people with these crazy ideas kind of unified under him, and he just continued to emblazon these people with like terrible ideas and support them, and it's very concerning.
I just doesn't it blow your guys' mind that women like support Trump?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, how are you?
How do you do it?
I don't
Like,
understand what's
actively
going
trying
through
to
their
take away
mind.
your like bodily rights, and like he fully said in a tweet like we'll make sure everyone's husbands can get back to work and stuff. Like he doesn't respect you. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Or like just people
But
that I
then
would
like
hang out with or like spend my time around, and I just thought we're like cool and like I knew these people, and suddenly they're like Trump and Pence 2020, and I'm like, baby, the election is over.
Yeah.
Y'all lost.
Like Trump and Pence did not win 2020. That's the point of the election.
Now that the election is, I mean, it's almost over, practically over. We can stop calling the Trumpies. Now they're just racist.
I think they kind of always were.
Yeah, I think now we can just solidify the thing instead of like, because before they had like a person that we could all be like, oh, we can all connect it to, but now they're just racist.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? I think a lot of people who support Trump, Trump, they're not like, I mean, most of them are, but some of them, they're not racist on purpose. They're just like racist to the point where they don't understand their own like white privilege. And so it just makes them
All people that support
A lot
support
of people
are absolute racists. Like my Nino, like we were poking. He supports him, but mostly for the economy reasons. But we all poke fun at him. Like like we were going to a president's tree, and my dad was like, "Hey, look, it's the Joe Biden tree," and my Nino was just like, "Man, man, what?"
Mexicans, Trump is like ICE for Mexicans for ICE. Black people for Trump is black people for the KKK.
it's just like because a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I'm not racist. I just support Trump," and it's like a very niche kind of racism that you just don't realize the consequences of your actions that would be like electing this man president. Like just because some people have never had to worry about the repercussions of electing a racist, that they don't see any issue with it.
That's what I'm talking about. Ariana has officially joined us.
Thank you for that, Ariana. It's a pleasure to see you here. So,
Sorry, I'm so tired today. It was such a long day.
Okay.
don't worry about it. Is there anything you'd like
And I'm the co-host.
Yep.
I'm typing that in the chat because I'm tired. Sorry.
Okay, but there's one thing we're gonna miss. If there's one thing that Trump did successfully is create the perfect meme profiles. Like
Uh,
like there's just so many memes. Like in the past 4 years, so many memes. And if there's one thing that we're going to miss about our good old President Trump, former President Trump, is
Also-
all them memes.
the amount of
I don't.
people I've just made online, just putting FDT on my Instagram. Just that's it. They're just light up being like teary and like, we see each other.
I don't think Trump's gonna go away without like trying to fight for something he can't have. So I think we'll get a few more memes out of him.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
maybe just a few.
Oh,
For
definitely.
sure.
like a couple. I heard something about them possibly having to evict him from the White House. I can't wait.
I just hope they
That'll
get it on camera.
Oh, he is
I want to watch it.
not cooperating. He is not cooperating.
Guys, I'm so excited. A dog's gonna be back in the White House.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yay!
That's what we all need, everyone. Let's get them dogs in the White House.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay, but how long do you guys think it's gonna take until like everything's all sorted out? Because like I remember, was it Mr. Fresco's we were talking with, and he said that's probably gonna take until like mid-December.
I
Um,
think that I really think Trump's, fighting it.
He's definitely putting up a fight. I read a Washington Post article the other day that was talking about like the last time that we had a delay between the former administration and the next administration, because like Trump's administration is supposed to like basically brief the next people on like, oh, this is like what we were dealing with, this is all the intelligence that we had. And the last time that there was a delay between former president and next president, 9/11 happened 8 months later. And one of the projected causes of 9/11 was that delay between serving that intelligence to the next administration. And I'm just, I know there is going to be something bad is going to happen.
Yeah. I was watching I think it was BBC. It was some kind of world news last night, and they were talking about how Trump recently has fired a bunch of people in like different positions and replaced them with like military people or people who strongly support him. So that's very worrying, but I'm not sure what's going to happen, but something not good is probably going to happen from this.
do you ever think he's going to? Because like this question popped into my head when I was thinking about it. But do you think, because technically he still can, if I believe, but do you think he can rerun for president?
Yes, he can
He
because
can.
he can only serve 2 terms. So if he didn't win this term, he could rerun next term.
Do you think he's gonna try and rerun the next term?
Of course. Come on.
Isn't he like 70 something though?
Mm,
I don't think he would rerun if he doesn't, since he's not winning this election.
I
I don't
feel
think
like
he'd rerun.
the
he
Trump
will
up.
if he's not prosecuted for any of the many crimes he's committed.
Oh yeah.
But,
That's
you
the
know,
thing. He's going to get prosecuted. It just
only
depends.
reason-
Hear about that? Okay, so we all know that Trump has a lot of sexual assault allegations, but there's this one, I can't think of the girl's name, but she has like her evidence, and she wants a DNA test, but Trump refuses. He's like, no, because I didn't do it. So if they just happen to get something for that, I think that would be real interesting. Sorry to the girl though.
The only reason that he is not probably in jail was the just immunity he got from being president for 4 years. So I'm just waiting sexual assault allegations, not paying his taxes with evidence, or still conducting business, even as a president who had very valuable intelligence on the inner workings of our country and other countries, like there's quite a few things on his plate that I'm ready to see him be get justice for.
I know New York is holding up a case against him, and they're planning to charge as soon as he's out of the office. And me and my grandma were talking about it. She thinks he's going to flee, thinks he's going to run off to Russia, and he's going to leave before they can indict him because he doesn't. That's why he's been fighting so hard for this election and trying to say, yeah, I won, because he knows as soon as he's out of the office, it's over for him.
Definitely. I just think it's real interesting. He's so against, like, I hate saying this, but like illegal immigrants coming to America. But isn't his wife not from this country?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that just like, I don't know.
Well,
Seems
but
odd.
she's white, so
Mm.
It's all right, everyone. It's all right then. It's all right. Ah, sweet.
That's what he's trying to tell everybody. It's okay. She looks white.
Oh
That's
God.
what's going through his mind right now.
Definitely.
He's like, don't look at me like that. It's cool. It's fine.
I have never heard this woman speak like more than 10 words. The other day, I saw a video of her like saying how Trump is not homophobic and how
Oh,
dare
I love that too.
hate him this way. Like, woman, where have you been these 4 years?
I'm probably trying to hide. I would too.
Do y'all remember when they caught her last month saying something about the ICE facilities?
Uh,
The report? No.
Also, if you go to her Instagram, there's like her being like, I've like donated tons of money to what is it? Like teenage drug use or like, helping stop teenage drug use. But I've never heard of that either. Like,
I was really panicked because I thought you just said she donated money to teenage drug use, and I was like, huh?
maybe I just worded that wrong.
Oh gosh.
Like, I had never heard of that before, and I would like to think that I'm pretty in the know about politics, especially when it comes to presidents and first ladies.
Usually the first ladies are like also like as much in the public eye. Michelle Obama definitely was like doing just as much, trying to
Yeah.
do
Let's
just
not
as much.
like Obama either, though, because he's like a war criminal.
Yeah. He
I mean, I don't think we
Yeah.
can, he got reelected.
Idolize anyone for president besides my King Bernie. I would love to have him, but
We could have had Bernie.
It would have been great. It would have been great.
yeah.
Okay, so now that we've thoroughly analyzed Mr. Trump, what are your guys' opinions on the new guy coming in, Mr. Joe Biden himself?
I would like to start off by saying that, like, of course, we're all celebrating like he won. Like we got the orange man out of office, but we have a lot of like Trumpies coming back saying like, oh, like he's no better than Trump, this and this and this. But like we're just celebrating getting a racist and a rapist out of office, or like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's this election
I
was.
think
Oh no, continue, Katrina.
go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
okay. You go.
We're over my mouth.
No, your turn.
Okay.
Speak. Go.
Shall speak. Well, I think like Alexia said, like most of like you don't like even me personally, I've been over this like past month, I've been trying to keep up with politics as much as I can, but like I don't like there's a lot of things of Joe Biden's that I just don't really support. And like if you look at some of the things he says, they're just like but like somehow he's still the better option. It's like we didn't elect this. We didn't vote him in because we wanted him for him. We voted him in because he was the better choice than Trump again.
We definitely settled, but I hate like, but he's no better than Trump. But he is like
It's a shinier of two turds situation. Trump just set the bar so low that we were just relieved to have him out. And there is that very big thing of we shouldn't be idolizing any president because no matter how good a president is, there's always going to be policies that we don't agree with, that we don't like. But it's better to have someone that we can actually work with. So
Someone who
Yeah, I agree. He was saying a lot about like we the people when they went to debate, and he talks a lot about we the people and the people are in power, and we have to make sure that we hold him to that. We can't just let him say that and then him do the exact opposite.
Oh, did you guys watch his victory speech?
I've only seen parts of it. Has anyone else seen it?
We watched a little bit of it, and then we ended up just going for McDonald's and paying Party in the USA in our car.
It was mm, it could have been better. He obviously has his stutter, you know, it makes it hard to deliver a good speech. But overall, he presented himself like really well. He does say things like we the people a lot, so I would like to see America hold them accountable for that. He also said something really interesting, which is like doesn't matter if you voted for me or you didn't, I want to support the United States because that's how I think about us. And I thought that was really interesting because I don't get that feel from Trump. Like I feel like he's supporting the people who support him.
There's definitely a huge division in our country of like an us versus them, and the fact that he highlighted that in his speech, that like it doesn't matter what party you are, who you voted for, I'm going to try to be your president, like that was a very relieving thing to hear.
Yeah. Also, I want to say Kamala, but I could be wrong. Kamala Harris?
I
I
believe
think
No.
it's Kamala.
Kamala. Okay, Kamala Harris.
that makes sense.
I don't know too much about her, but I think she made history, definitely. She gave like kind of a little speech, kind of she talked a little bit, and she said that, you know, like this is kind of the start for like women in office to come into office. Like vice president is super close to president, and so maybe next term we'll just see someone like AOC come in and
Oh, I hope so.
I would like to see AOC run for president very much.
even if she doesn't win, like, which I hope she would, but even if she didn't win, it would still be kind of cool to see someone like who I agree with, who just presents herself as like a powerful woman.
Is AOC old enough to run for president?
No.
No, not right now, but she'll be old enough, I think, in 2024.
Yeah. Um. Also, I think they should make the president like age limit younger.
Just
I-
a little bit, not
Yeah.
by a lot.
Yeah, because you got these older men coming in and they're just like making so many choices about our future that I feel like not all the time they agree with like the modern world.
Well,
There-
And then are they even going to
For
be there to
sure.
see the future, to be
We,
honest? Just
we
saying.
keep electing people who are already on their way out, like
Yeah, like,
I mean, the God, I can't even say anything. Yeah, it's just true. Like these last two, like, like whenever the first debate came out, I summed it up to just two old men yelling at each other because that's what it was. And what was the age limit again? Was it 45 that you had to be or 35? I can't exactly remember.
35. I
35.
think.
35, I think.
35.
Hey, we need more younger people running as president. Like,
Also-
like honestly, like these everyone you see running as president, it's like it's all like these old, very rich white men. Or except Trump, he was an orange. But anyway, like they're all like in their 60s, or they're in Trump's case and like Biden's case 70s. Like
Yeah,
no, they're
like-
correct.
Aren't they like 74 and 78?
yes.
I think so. We need like some young middle-aged dude to like run for president. Some young businessman guy.
My mom always says the more you live, the more you know, but sometimes when Trump talks, I cannot believe her.
They should put like
no.
an age max. Like they can't be older than 70.
I don't believe
Mhm.
Aren't you
that.
guys tired of hearing like you're 16, you can't even vote yet? What do you care for? But like when this term ends, I'm gonna be 20 years old. Like I'm gonna be an adult, like in the adult world, working and doing adult things, and I just feel like those things affect me, and I should have an opinion.
Also, like 2 years into like this next term, we're gonna literally be in college, and how's the economy gonna look for us and everything in our prospects when
exactly.
we're adults?
I think it's quite like extraordinary, just the amount of young, very young people that are caring about politics, that are like openly very invested in what's going on. I think that's great.
I think we're creating a space for people to become educated, or for people who are already educated on politics, so we could have educated voters, which is super important because some people go into those polls and they just, well, I agree with this guy, so you know.
And then there's also, it's something that we've talked about before. It's the part it was it's the pressure of the party system. Like if you don't educate yourself, like you're just gonna see one party and they're gonna have one policy you agree with, and you're just gonna be like, oh, this party's amazing. Let me go with that. And then like throughout the years, you're just gonna keep staying with that party because like, oh, I agreed with them that one time. Guess they're pretty good. And then yeah, so like
Yeah.
I think it's important that like people our age should start educating themselves and start, well, just making their own choices based on the research that they've come up with. I think everything
There's
will.
definitely danger in subscribing very strictly to one party, like no matter what they do, just conforming to that like ism and letting them do the thinking for you. It's very dangerous. It's how we get people like Trump in office, because people see one thing they agree with and will overlook anything else just to be part of this kind of wave of thinking.
Or they're like, they just confuse themselves and then they're like micro-labeling themselves like, I'm a leftist liberal on the right side of things, and I'm so lost because to me there's the Republican, the Democratic, and then you have liberals and
Yeah,
conservatives.
and then it's like, oh, wait a second, what rabbit hole of politics did I just step into?
Exactly.
I think that's
We should
just
have
how
a
the whole
class for this. We have classes. I know a couple people taking, not at our school, but American democracy, and I've looked at some of the work, and it's an interesting class because it really teaches you about like the way our government works and our amendments and our policies. But I think it'd be more interesting to have that with teaching you how to vote and how to like responsibly pick the party you want to be attached to.
I'm in AP US history, and we definitely covered like ways of thinking. We definitely covered the spectrum of right to left, but there was only that, just that surface level, like, oh, this is what the right thinks and this is what the left thinks, and not really kind of telling you how to work with that, how to vote, how election works within those uh, kind of schools of thought. And I think that is something very necessary for young people to learn.
Yeah, like no shout out to Miss Moore, but that class difficult. So if they think we could pass chemistry with an A, then we should be able to pass a class that teaches you about real world things. So
Exactly, and getting you prepared for everything, because as when it comes to politics, you're either like me a couple months ago where I only had somewhat of an idea of politics, to me like now where I'm like, or after like doing even just a month of just being of studying politics and like reading articles, like I feel like a lot, like Alexia showed me how to vote or get pre-registered to vote here, and I'm just like, there's so much stuff that you don't all know, and someone should teach you about that.
also, I think politics has a lot to do with society. Like if you just educate yourself on the constructs of society, you see why a lot of people pick what they pick. And so I think that's really interesting. And I think in a place like California, where you have all these different types of people and cultures, you get like that more outside of the box thinking. So maybe you're leaning a little more liberal than you would conservative.
Mhm. I'm taking a class right now. It's a college class, but it's like introduction to composition or something like that. Um, and we did a thing where we got like fake ballots, and each of us like presented a like thing and our stance on it, and then everybody voted. And it was the propositions for a place, like it was like a fake ballot, but it had all the same stuff on it. So I think they should introduce maybe not exactly that, but something like that into some type of high school course, because I feel like it's very important before we graduate to know how to vote on a ballot and how to actually do real world things and like learn about and research how things will impact you.
Well, I think that was a great ending point for this episode. episode. We've reached our time, and well, that's it for the Gray Podcast, everyone. We'd like to thank everyone who's joined us so far. You guys had such great ideas, and it was really fun talking to you all. I'd also like to thank everyone who's been listening in and joining us. It's been great discussing, and it's been great letting you guys hear us. With that, this episode comes to a close. My name is Marcos Salazar,
I'm Alexia Lucio.
and this is the Gray Podcast. Thanks for watching.